These are my top 10 prospects in Major League Baseball for the 2024 season. You've got Pipeline, you've got Baseball Prospectus, America, Fangraphs. There are so many different websites that drop their own top 100 lists. And while this isn't my top 100 because that's an insane amount of work, and honestly, if you want to see that, drop a like on the video. If there's enough likes on here and enough interest, I'll do it. I'll be crazy and make a top 100 prospect list. But for now, I'm giving you my top 10. These are my favorite guys. You might disagree with me. I'd love to hear what you have to say down in the comment section below. Again, I'm not perfect at this by any means, but these are the 10 guys that I think are the best prospects. I tend to value ceiling over floor most of the time with prospects. Just something that I care about more. Might not be right. Maybe it is. I don't know. But when I'm talking about these young players who I think should be ranked towards the top, I want guys who can be stars. And right now, these top 10, they all have the ability to be a star in Major League Baseball in the next few years. So enough of my yapping. Let's get going into this top 10. Getting us started at the number 10 spot, I've got Walker Jenkins, number 5 overall pick from the 2023 MLB draft on the Minnesota Twins. Walker Jenkins is just like a physical freak. 6'3", 210, and he's pretty close to a 5-tool player. Last year, he only played 26 games, of course, coming out of high school into the draft, but in those 26 games, he was amazing, and his numbers across the board are just absolutely awesome. The exit velos are great. The athleticism is great. Walker Jenkins looks like he can be an absolute star at the major league level one day. In 26 games between rookie ball and A ball last season, Walker Jenkins had 3 homers, 5 doubles, 4 triples, and 22 RBIs, stealing 6 bases, hitting .362 with a .417 on base, .571 slugging, and a .989 OPS. Struck out 14 times in 115 at-bats, walked about 10% of the time as well. There's just a lot to like about Walker Jenkins, and the dude is built like a brick shit house. Absolutely massive kid, and his swing from the left-handed side is beautiful. So he gets the slight nod over Ethan Salas. It's very close, but I'm going with Walker Jenkins right now. For the 9th best prospect in Major League Baseball, I'm going to go to the Red Sox to talk about Roman Anthony, 2nd-round pick out of the 2022 MLB draft. After what was a relatively disappointing first year in pro ball back in 2022, Anthony absolutely popped off last season. As a 19-year-old, he reached Double-A by the end of the season, in which he played 10 games and looked really comfortable in those 10 games. But overall in the year, as a 19-year-old, 106 games from A all the way up to Double-A, majority of which were played at High A, 14 homers, 27 doubles, 4 triples, 64 RBIs, with 16 stolen bases, hitting .272 with a .403 on base, .466 slugging, and an .869 OPS. I mean, Anthony was rocking like close to a 20% walk rate in the minors, striking out around 20-ish% of the time. A lot of his swing decisions were what made people a little bit nervous about him, but it looks like he kind of fixed that last season. And just the sheer raw power that he has, along with the athleticism, makes Roman Anthony one of the most exciting prospects in the game. Coming in at the number 8 spot in today's video, I've got number 1 overall pick in the last MLB draft, Paul Skenes of the Pittsburgh Pirates. This is no shot at Paul Skenes. I just do get a little bit nervous with pitchers, and he is the only pitcher in today's video. Pitching prospects are relatively fake. That being said, Paul Skenes has just absolutely insane stuff. A fastball that easily touches 100 miles an hour, a slider that is just absolutely wipe out. And last year, while he didn't pitch much in the minors, only 6 2/3 innings, they did get him up to Double-A at one point, and he was still striking out a ton of batters, 10 batters in those 6 2/3 innings, only walking 2, and he dominated the SEC, which is pretty close to Double-A level considered by scouts. So this is a guy who, in a couple years, maybe even by the end of this upcoming season, could be ready for the Pittsburgh Pirates at the major league level, depending how aggressive they want to be with him. Livy Dunn's boyfriend is an absolute stud. Don't get it twisted. She might be the more famous one right now, but Paul Skenes has the ability to be one of the better pitchers in baseball if everything goes right. For the 7th best prospect in today's video, I've got Dylan Cruz, number 2 overall pick by the Washington Nationals in last year's draft. Cruz was a college teammate of Paul Skenes and similarly dominated the SEC at LSU, put up some crazy numbers in back-to-back years. You're looking at a guy who was averaging about 20 homers, a .390 batting average with a 500 on base and an OPS well above 1,000. I mean, he was disgusting. One of the best players in college that we've seen in a while, and he continued to play well at the minor league level. Now, of course, he is a little bit older. He's 21 years old coming out of college. He did get all the way up to Double-A, where he did struggle in 20 games, but all the previous levels he did dominate. He's a great athlete, a 5-tool player, has definitely some potential for power in that bat as well. Maybe not as much as some of the other bigger outfielders taken in the first round. With great athleticism and a really, really good hit tool, one of my favorite prospects, debatably could have been the number 1 pick last year for the Pirates. And again, I just kind of trust hitters over pitchers. Pitchers scare me a little bit. Only reason he gets a slight nod over Paul Skenes, who's disgusting. For the 6th best prospect in Major League Baseball, Arizona Diamondbacks 1st-round pick back in 2021, Jordan Lawler. Jordan Lawler did get a little bit of a cup of coffee last year at the Major League league level did not look great in those 14 games, but he was 20 years old. That's incredibly young. He just got a little experience, and he got to be a part of that World Series run, was on the roster. I have a lot of hope for Jordan Lawler. Not that that's a hot take. He's just a really good player. Someone who reminds me a lot of what Bobby Witt was kind of like as a player coming up. Lawler last year in the minors between AA and AAA as a 20-year-old hit 20 homers, 23 doubles, 4 triples, and 67 RBIs, stealing 36 bases, only being caught 5 times, which is awesome. 278 average, 378 on base, 496 slugging for an 874 OPS. Crushed at AAA so much so that they were like, enough here. Got to the major league level. The thing with Lawler is whether or not they're going to play him every single day to start the year. I think if he has a good spring, you can expect that because he is so talented. Really good athlete, solid in the field, and a great bat at the plate. Jordan Lawler's a complete package. Getting the top 5 started at number 5, I've got Tampa Bay Rays infield prospect Junior Caminero. Similarly to the aforementioned Lawler, Caminero came up at a crazy young age last year. 19 years of age, did not have a lot of success. Did get his first major league home run, though, at 19 years of age for the Tampa Bay Rays. What you love about Junior Caminero is this guy absolutely mashes. At the plate, he puts up some crazy numbers, especially in the exit velo department, for someone who's not particularly huge, which is kind of cool to see. As a 19-year-old between high A and AA, they didn't even put him in AAA, said, you're coming to the majors. 117 games, 31 homers, 18 doubles, 6 triples, and 94 RBIs, hitting 324 with a 384 on base, 591 slugging, and a 976 OPS. Probably not going to be a shortstop, probably going to end up being a third baseman, but Junior Caminero is a stud. One of the fun players to watch this upcoming season, especially at the plate. Talking fireworks, people. Next up at the number 4 spot, I've got Jackson Chourio of the Milwaukee Brewers. Chourio got paid this offseason. Looks like he's going to be the everyday center fielder for the Brewers going into the 2024 season, and there's good reason as to why. He's a 5-tool player. Last year, as a 19-year-old, got all the way to AAA, 22 homers, 26 doubles, 91 RBIs with 44 stolen bases, being caught only 9 times. He hit 283 with a 338 on base, 467 slugging, and an 805 OPS. What gets you excited about Jackson Chourio is that every single year he's getting bigger and stronger and faster. He plays awesome defense out in center field. Like, he's going to be a center fielder for the foreseeable future for this Brewers franchise, and there is still so much raw potential left in Jackson Chourio based on what we've seen thus far. A great right-handed swing. There's a reason the Brewers, who never pay anybody, paid a guy who's not even played at the major league level yet all that money. It's because Jackson Chourio is that special. Speaking of special, at number 3, the number 4 overall pick from this previous year's draft by the Texas Rangers, Wyatt Langford. Another SEC guy. Wyatt Langford, of course, dominated in college. Very similar numbers to Dylan Cruz, where he just didn't get out much, had like an on-base percentage around 500, and had some power. What's crazy is what he did in 44 games in the minors last year after being drafted. Got all the way to AAA. There was even rumors that maybe he could get called up last season as a 21-year-old. 44 games, 10 homers, 17 doubles, 30 RBIs with 12 stolen bases. Hitting 360 with a 480 on base is insane. I'm laughing recording this. Like, that's just nuts. 677 slugging and 1157 OPS. I mean, what the f*** are these numbers? Wyatt Langford is an absolute stud. There's definitely a world where Wyatt Langford has a great spring and completely just takes over. Starts for the Rangers on opening day. He is that good. We know they'll be aggressive. Going to be a part of that great Rangers core for many years to come. The dude's just got talent like crazy, and especially at the plate, the power and potential there is just so high. Speaking of which, coming in as the second best prospect in my rankings this season, I've got Wyatt Langford's soon-to-be teammate, Evan Carter. Feels weird to consider Evan Carter as a prospect, considering we saw him play last year at the major league level and then dominate throughout the playoffs, but he's still eligible to win the Rookie of the Year, so we're going to consider him a prospect. In 23 games during the regular season, Evan Carter hit 5 homers, 4 doubles, a triple, and 12 RBIs, 306 average, 413 on base, 645 slugging, and a 1058 OPS, but it gets better because in the postseason, he didn't slow down at all. In the postseason, as a 20-year-old rookie for the World Series champion Texas Rangers, 300 average, 417 on base, 500 slugging, 917 OPS. I mean, he's just so good. He was hitting in the middle of the lineup with Corey Seager, Adolis Garcia, Marcus Semien. Evan Carter's a part of that. Very good in the outfield, an elite eye at the plate. I mean, his nickname is Full Count Carter. 21 years old. This dude is sick. One of my favorite players, honestly, in Major League Baseball right now that is younger like this. Definitely one of my favorite prospects. That's why I have him at number 2. This dude's just such a stud. And then coming in as the number 1 prospect in Major League Baseball, I mean, I think you guys know who it's going to be. Jackson Holliday, number 1 overall pick back in 2022 of the Baltimore Orioles. Yeah, Matt Holliday's son is disgusting. It's crazy how quickly Jackson Holliday has gone from a pretty good high school player to one of the best prospects in Major League Baseball. Just a year or two before he got drafted, this was a guy who you weren't really sure how he was going to project, but he got bigger, he got stronger, he got better, and he is now the best prospect in Major League Baseball. Last year, as a 19-year-old, got all the way up to AAA. You can see a theme here. I like the young guys who get almost to the Major League level. They're usually pretty talented. 125 games, 12 homers, 30 doubles, 9 triples, 75 RBIs with 24 stolen bases, hitting .323. Here's where it gets crazy: a .442 on base, .499 slugging for a .941 OPS. 101 walks last year as a 19-year-old, going from literally A-ball all the way to AAA. That is disgusting. I don't know what the power potential is for a guy like Jackson Holliday. I don't know if he's going to hit 30 home runs ever in his career, but his hit tool and his discipline is just way beyond his years. This is one of those generational type players, and he's an absolute stud. So there they are, my top 10 prospects for the 2024 MLB season. Again, if you want to see me drop a top 100, I will, but you need to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe, so I know that that's content you want to see. But I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to get crazy, dive into the numbers. Get in the comment section down below. Let me know who I snubbed. I know a lot of you are going to say, where's Ethan Salas? How isn't he on here? He was number 11. He was so close, just didn't make the list. I prefer Walker Jenkins right now. Maybe I'll look wrong. Maybe I'll look stupid in a month. We shall see. Make sure you follow me on all my social media at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links are in the description. And that's where I'll wrap up today's video. You guys know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my top 10 prospect list from maybe last year or the year before. I don't remember when I last made one, but hey, click through these if you have not yet seen them. I promise they're good videos. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you all for another video. Bye.